Now I hear say. Yes, no I hear say. In Patriarchs and Prophets, page 451. This is it. Balaam knew that the prosperity of Israel depended upon their obedience to God. Remember, Yankunim dear in say, you be a city. I'm ready. So when you're ready, and that there was no way to cause their overthrow but by seducing them into sin. Now, does that ring a bell? He beguiled them, the medium. Into Balaam said, the only way to bet me more minor shares here, and he said, oh, bet that one no more pony. Because I did it in Yankopon in Isaiah 59, verse number 2. Sin, bonnet, transgression of God's law. To Genesis 3, verse 7 and 8. Bible says, brother, they separated, they hid themselves, they got separated from God because I did it in the panning Yankopon them. And until bra, yes, so I am bonny. I will get seven. Yes, to tell me, say, Father, why hast thou forsaken Major? I dare not power me because the only thing that separates humanity from his God is none but sin. Now, so Balaam knew. He knew. The Moabites themselves also, they were convinced that so long as Israel remained true to God, he would be their shield. Do you know Musunim? Say kosi say Israel for ebedi nukre amerade nyankopon be kosoa ye won bambofo. God will continue to be their shield. The plan proposed by Balaam was to separate them from God by enticing them into idolatry. Balaam Balak no say she say yebeti omanini yankopontem wabra wo mo akosoma bosom. Tell you can Hosea chapter 1 verse 2 no. The land has committed whoredom by departing from the Lord. The women Yankopon bu fu ne man e say o man no be free ni chain akosoma bosom na kwan ben so wonam ahonhom samso. So the plan proposed by Balaam was to separate them from God by enticing them into idolatry. If they could be led to engage in the licentious worship of Baal and Ashtaroth, their omnipotent protector would become their enemy, and they will soon fall a prey to their fierce, warlike nations around them. And yet, what Shesha say? So, one mining Yankopon Tamtin Namabusun Sonswa. One bamba, one sack, free one day for one. A bit free one. Now, one Yankopon better than one town for. Now, best she now, man, a mining in our can you never do so. He knew that. This plan was readily accepted by the king, and Balaam himself remained to assist in carrying into effect. Into one any medium what did you man said the Yankopon ma be shiase the false prophet Balaam. The book said agenda say to cause God's people to depart from the Lord by enticing them into idolatry. The book said what the fed the nyamema amo my manie fri Yankopon and he say so wo ba wo wura busunsumu. Balaam witnessed the success of his diabolical scheme only because we didn't know. And therefore, we are discussing the doctrine of Balaam, and his doctrine is none but being a means or a medium of a medium of being a medium through which God's people would fall. One man who coin na ya fa so ama Nyankopon ma ahwe ase. That is Balaam. That is Balaam. Man who coin church the woman akwani a o man be fa so ahwe ase. Now we are going to liken Balaam to end time. Pictures and Prophet, page 452. At Balaam's suggestion, a grand festival in honor of their gods was appointed by the king of Moab, and it was secretly arranged that Balaam should induce the Israelites to attend that Israel for Umrah. Why? He was regarded by them as a prophet of God, and hence had little difficulty in accomplishing his purpose. Many Israel following is what I say in Yankopon before into Amre. So, but behind was the deception. You will liken it to what is going on right now in the world, as we perceive something to be very godly, and people feel that no, all is well. Ladies and gentlemen, all is not well. It is the spirit of Balaam. Great numbers of the people joined him in witnessing the festivities. They ventured upon the forbidden ground. Forbidden ground here, they idolatry, spiritualism, and were entangled in the snare of Satan. Beguiled with music and dancing, and allured by the beauty of heathen vestas. Now look at that. Check it. Music, dancing. This was the worship style of the Midianites and the Moabites. It was so exciting. In our world today, where do we feel, where do we see music, dancing? It is in the churches. Very strange. They cast off their fealty to Jehovah as they united in mirth and feasting, indulgence in wine, spiritual in church ceremony, beclouded their senses and broke down the barriers of self-control. Ladies and gentlemen, Balaam, who then is the antitypical Balaam? Now, this is where we bring our lesson to a close. Balaam as a means, you can find Balaam's own and to Conan Balaam on come. But you can find some woman and said the Ben Yankopon Abbey. Who are the antitypical Midianites and Moabites? And then who is the antitypical Balaam? Balaam Droma Dia, Droma Hoya. Again I read. Once a true prophet, now a false prophet. Very sad. So let's try to do the parallels. Balaam was once a true prophet. And that is what the Bible says. Now we deep for power. In the end time, the book of Revelation, do we hear the mention of a name prophet? The answer is yes. Ladies and gentlemen, it is interesting to note. So the system now, your friend of false prophet, it was once a genuine system. Let's read Revelation chapter 12, verse number 14 to 16. This is what the Bible tells us about this system, yet antitypical Balaam in the end time. Revelation chapter 12, verse number 14 to 16. I say, and to the woman, the Bible describes it as woman, were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into a place where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time from the face of the serpent. Ladies and gentlemen, who is this woman he's talking about? This is the Protestant churches. During the time of the Dark Ages, they had a genuine teachings. They exposed the Antichrist. Martin Luther knew who the Antichrist was. John Wesley knew who the Antichrist was. John Calvin knew who the Antichrist was. In fact, they were unanimous when it came to identifying who the Antichrist was. They had an unadulterated faith and doctrine during the Dark Ages. Some Protestants who don't know what to tell Catholic Church, God describes them in the Bible as the woman, pure church. They were pure. At that time, they were living according to a higher norm. They were pure. But what has happened? Like Balaam. Balaam was once a true prophet. Point number 2, he apostatized. As Joshua tells us, Balaam the soothsayer. The true church, the true system. Now the Bible describes it as what? The false prophet. In Revelation chapter 19, verse 20. How does the Bible describe Protestantism in the end time? In Revelation chapter 19, verse 20, the Bible tells us, and the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet. The once true prophet has now become a false prophet. Very sad. So Balaam, typical Balaam, in antitype, is the Protestant churches, Protestant America, has become Balaam, false prophet. The Bible described the system as false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast. So the beast, through the false prophet, deceives the world to receive the mark of the beast and be destroyed. Because young so yeah, through Canaan, to say the Israel focus through Canaan, media ne more of focus for Balaam. Now what's there? One kind of one first woman, young man, she has some. You see, of course, through Canaan. Balaam, a median, home median, and her media name was here. A funnel, so one funnel, so nada, no woman, young man, she has here. Bible describe one as the false prophet. In Revelation 13, verse 11 to 14, in 2 verse 20 was it, and thou wrought miracles before him. To me, ben a young century. Revelation 19 described him as false prophet. That is a fact. Also, I would use no be the second beast of Revelation 13, called the land beast, and then they describe America to the fullest. It arose out of a place not inhabited by many, but it has risen to prominence. Said the name Balaam, Nidia Shita of Mesopotamia, and the most powerful nation in the world is America. Said the Balaam, Nidia Shita baby, Sana and America so Ashita baby. America fits into the Balaam paradigm. In Revelation chapter 13, verse number 11 to 14, we are told, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb. Everybody says here how lamb-like things, the lamb-like things America air right now. And he speak as a dragon, but he be in an act of dragon. See the Balaam here, you know. Phrase right for Mumbrani so lamb-like has a mumbra, me domni, me so mumbra. But it was deceptive. Verse 12. And he exercised all the power of the first beast, and caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Verse 13. And he doeth great wonders. Revelation 19:20. Miracles, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth. So the false prophet of Revelation 19 is the same as the land beast of Revelation 13, and it's none but America, Protestant America. So that is one parallel. The second parallel, we were apostatizing. The apostasy, they say, when Balaam allowed he was a medium, that is the third point, a medium to deceive God's people. That is what Balaam did. He offered himself as a medium, as a conveyor belt. Is Protestantism America a medium? The answer is yes. We've just read it. In Revelation 19. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him. And the false prophet was the beast, which is papacy, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worship his image. Revelation 13 now verse 12. And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast. Why you man Balaam obey median and more before Juma? Why Juma and a Protestant Protestant America, well, yeah, Juma, I'm the first beast, which is the papacy. The same thing. The same thing. Point number 4. The worship style is so fascinating. What does the spirit of prophecy say? Drumming and dancing. So attractive. It appeals to the emotion. Does that ring a bell? Okay. Say Bible say it is to lead them in the worship of Baal and Ashtaroth. And even not Baal and Ashtaroth. 1 Kings chapter 18. Elijah and the prophets of Baal. And so were they drumming? Were they dancing? Were they making noise? Were they speaking louder? In tongues? That is the worship style. Into the worship style, Balaam a cavoye said, I want to be to the attractive Israel for more mabano. And then he found you who saw worship style, shouting, drumming, dancing. And he found you in the churches. In the churches. And the Protestant would embrace spiritualism. Drumming and dancing in Frihifa. It came from the charismatic movement. Spiritualism. Speaking in tongues. Frihifa. Charismatic Pentecostal movement. And it has been embraced by Protestants. So we see drumming and dancing in Balaam. We see drumming and dancing in the antitypical Balaam Protestant fallen churches. The same thing. So these are the 4 practical steps. And the 5th one, Balaam practiced spiritualism. Do you find spiritualism with the false prophet of Revelation 13? The answer is yes. Where do we find that? In Revelation chapter 16, verse number 13, all the way and 14. Revelation 16, verse number 13 and 14. What does the Bible say? And I saw 3 unclean spirits. These are evil spirits. They said in Balaam Krana. I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon. Now, 3 unclean spirits like frogs. I'm going to show you an image. We should imagine as a frog and an answer is a frog. The Bible is so fascinating. Say, we chant for nini to say, it's so amazing. But the frog get to now family Niema air cost will be right now. And then final deception is what to know say and I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. And who are these frogs? For they are the spirits of devils working what? Miracles. Is Protestantism connected with spiritualism? With the spirit of devils? The answer is yes. And that is why there's so much noise before the Lord. Dancing before the Lord. Habakkuk 2 verse 20. The Lord is in his holy temple. Let all the earth be silent before him. And what do we see? Drumming and dancing. Speaking in tongues. Invoking evil spirits in the fold. We see all these things in there. So these are the 5 perfect parallels between Balaam and the antitypical Balaam. And say the Balaam man who quite the antitypical Balaam and someone who quite. Who is this true prophet? A false prophet, a supposed true prophet, and Israel for embracing who is fulfilling that prophecy right now? As I said, Protestant America. But we see that in Donald Trump fulfilling the prophecy. He appears so lamb-like. They saw him to be so lamb-like. But he was a deceiver. He was a false prophet. And do we see the lamb-like features being exhibited by Donald Trump? Yes. Bring back our religion. We will bring back Christianity. It's not lamb-like. It is lamb-like. The golden age of America begins now. In his speech, inaugural speech, the golden age of US begins now.
The golden age of America begins right now. From this day forward, our country will flourish and be respected again all over the world. We will be the envy of every nation, and we will not allow ourselves to be taken advantage of any longer. During every single day of the Trump administration, I will very simply put America first.
Is it not so lamb-like? Yes. America must read our Bible again. Or launching the Greenwood Bible. Is it not so lamb-like? Yes, the nation is returning to God. It is so lamb-like.
I'm proud to be partnering with my very good friend Lee Greenwood, who doesn't love his song, God Bless the USA, in connection with promoting the God Bless the USA Bible. This Bible is the King James Version and also includes our founding father documents, yes, the Constitution, which I'm fighting for every single day, very hard, to keep Americans protected. Also, the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, and the Pledge of Allegiance are all part of this God Bless the USA Bible, and it's just very important and very important to me. I want to have a lot of people have it. You have to have it for your heart, for your soul. Many of you have never read them and don't know the liberties and rights you have as Americans and how you are being threatened to lose those rights. It's happening all the time. It's a very sad thing that's going on in our country, but we're going to get it turned around.
And when he came not long ago, Nano, this is his statement, and I want to read it exactly. I want to be very exact with it. Trump makes two sexes official and scrap DEI policy. Is it not so biblical? Is it not so lamb-like? The answer is yes. Or say, as far as I'm concerned, there are only two sexes, a male and female. Is it not so lamb-like? Yes.
This week, I will also end the government policy of trying to socially engineer race and gender into every aspect of public and private life. We will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based. As of today, it will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
It is not like, and what is happening? They will bring the 10 Commandments back into the schools. And now they are pushing it. In Oklahoma, in Louisiana, they are pushing it. Let's watch some of these videos to buttress the lamb-like spirit that Trump is manifesting. But as Revelation 13:11 tells us, Revelation 13:11 says, and I beheld another beast. First, let's watch the videos.
Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry signed into law a bill requiring the 10 Commandments be easily readable on a poster-sized display in every publicly funded classroom in the state from kindergarten through college by 2025.
If you want to respect the rule of law, you got to start from the original lawgiver, which was Moses.
Republican State Representative Lauren Ventrella co-sponsored the bill.
Because I believe in it. Because I believe that these are important morals and ideals that our students should have access to read if they choose.
Opponents say they'll challenge the law based on the argument that it violates the constitutional premise of separation of church and state.
And this law flies in the face of that basic foundation.
However, Louisiana puts forth the 10 Commandments in not so much a religious, but rather a historical framework.
This is not forcing, requiring, sanctioning, coercing anybody to read this document. It's merely posting it there for the students to have the option to observe the historical and moral content.
President Trump has a clear mandate. He wants prayer back in school. He wants radical leftism out of the classroom, wants our kids to be patriotic, want parents back in charge with school choice. We're enacting upon that agenda here in Oklahoma. That's what our parents want. Every county in Oklahoma voted for President Trump. His agenda is crystal clear, and we're going to enact it in the state of Oklahoma.
I'm not going to take the bait on what you said about gaslighting from this network on this. I'm asking you a specific question. Where is your authority specifically coming from? As you know, thousands of people, including parents who signed a petition to impeach you with more than 14,000 signatures at last check, say this is government overreach and you're taking control away from local parents, local school boards and parents over their kids. What do you say to that, and where is your authority coming from to enforce this prayer video to be played in schools?
You know, I appreciate you pushing that left-wing narrative here, but here's the reality.
It's not a left-wing narrative. I'm literally talking about a petition that parents have signed that's gotten more than 14,000 signatures that have raised this issue.
It's pretty clear on religious liberty. The Constitution's crystal clear on religious liberty. I know the left doesn't want our kids to know anything about the role the Bible played in American history. They don't want any of our kids to know about the Constitution.
Now, having watched that, what does Revelation 13:11 tells us? Was here, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. 10 commandments, no, in what way are they sending it? Force. That is how the dragon acts. He acts in the spirit of coercion. He will force you. That is a dragon-like feature. But you see, he appears so lamb-like. Now, there's something about Balaam that we need to see with America. Sorcery, spiritualism, ahomsem. Now this is how the spirit of prophecy ends. Revelation 13 verse 13 says, he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth. We are going to see miracles. There's going to be the manifestation of miracles, manifestation of supernatural things upon this earth. And it will be driven by sorcery, spiritualism, necromancy, communion with the dead. We've already discussed that, so I'm not going to repeat myself again. Now, Hosea 11 verse 2, I love this statement. I say, and as they called them, so they went from them. They sacrificed unto Balaam and burned incense to graven images. Now, Great Controversy, page 588, paragraph 1, this is what the spirit of prophecy tells us. Through the two great errors, the immortality of the soul, that is spiritualism, communion with the dead, and Sunday sacredness, Satan will bring the people under his deceptions. While the former lays the foundation of spiritualism, immortality of the soul, spiritualism, communion with the dead, evil spirits will manifest themselves as though they were our, dead relatives. We've already discussed that. The latter creates a bond of sympathy with Rome. The Protestants of the United States, Balaam, will be foremost in stretching their hands across the gulf to grasp the hand of spiritualism. Are we seeing some strange phenomenon? Now I want to share with you one of them. We are seeing wheel within wheels. You who say ties wheel be an echo round. And that links us to none but Ezekiel chapter 1. And as we've already pointed out, this UFO thing going on in the world, it is but the final deception. Now that can see a power. See, Protestants of the United States will be foremost in stretching their hands across the gulf to grasp the hand of spiritualism. They will reach over the abyss to clasp hands with the Roman power. Because the seat of the Roman power is spiritualism. Communion with evil angels, communion with Mary, communion with all the dead saints, communion with the dead saints, communion with dead Mary. It's all spiritualism. And Protestants are just embracing that spiritualism. And under the influence of this threefold union, so we saw Balaam, we saw Midian, and the Moabites, and then we saw spiritualism. And then this country will follow in the footsteps of Rome in trampling on the rights of conscience. Now, the result where they will lead people to accept the mark of the beast, and will get the people to think, say, that is the way to God, whereas that is the way to perdition. Yes, Sarah, this is one more to really get to understand these things. Now, for yes, Sarah, this is one more to maintain say one bravo, Pemun Sarah, the anyone. My young fire for be a radiacentia. And to my brothers who are not of the same fold with me, I do not intend to condemn, no, but I intend to bring to light this deeper truth. God Bible say, "Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free." If I didn't care when shrine, oh Jesus Christ, Amen.